Every day, millions of cat owners walk out the door assuming their cat will be fine, and maybe they will be. But what happens in the minutes after you leave, what your cat actually experiences when the door closes and the house goes quiet, is something most owners never think about. Because cats are supposed to be independent. They are supposed to be fine alone. That's what makes them different from dogs. That's what people say. But the research tells a different story. And if you've ever come home to a cat that seems a little too relieved to see you, a cat that follows you from room to room, or vocalizes more than usual, or simply won't leave your side for the first hour, you may have already felt the edges of that story without knowing what you were feeling. In this video, we're going to talk about what your cat actually feels when you leave home. Not what we assume, what the science, the behavior, and the quiet signals your cat sends you every single day are telling us. Let's start with the myth, because it shapes everything. The idea that cats are solitary, independent, and emotionally detached is one of the most persistent misunderstandings in the history of pet ownership. It comes from a real place. Cats are not pack animals, they are not wired for constant social contact the way dogs are, and they do spend significant time alone by nature. But alone by nature is not the same as not caring. And a cat that can tolerate solitude is not a cat that feels nothing when the person it is attached to disappears. Research published in the journal Applied Animal Behavior Science found that cats left alone for longer periods showed higher levels of stress-related behaviors than cats whose owners were home more frequently. They showed more destructive behavior, more excessive grooming, more hiding, more vocalizing when the owner returned. These are not the behaviors of an animal that didn't notice you were gone. These are the behaviors of an animal that noticed very much. So what does your cat actually feel in the moments after you leave? The first thing that happens is environmental. Your cat's entire sensory world changes the moment you walk out the door. Your scent begins to fade. The sounds you make, the hum of movement, the quiet noise of a person existing in a space, go silent. The temperature of the room shifts slightly without your body heat. The rhythms that your cat has organized its day around simply stop. For a cat with a secure attachment to its owner, this shift is registered. Not in the way a human registers absence, not with the full cognitive weight of missing someone, but in a quieter, more bodily way. Something that was there is now gone. The environment no longer carries the signals that told your cat everything was okay. This is the beginning of what researchers call separation-related behavior, and for some cats, it starts within minutes of you leaving. The second thing that happens is behavioral. Some cats will walk to the door you left through and sit near it, not waiting in a dramatic sense, but orienting toward the last place they registered your presence, toward the exit point of the person who makes their world feel safe. Some cats will seek out objects that carry your scent, your clothing, your pillow, your chair. They will rest on these objects, or near them. This is not random comfort seeking. This is a cat using the remaining sensory traces of you to self-regulate in your absence. Some cats will vocalize. They will call out in an empty house, in a way they would never call out if you were home. These vocalizations are not demands. They are something closer to searching. They are your cat using its voice the way it would use it with you, and receiving no answer. And some cats will simply go quiet. They will find a hidden spot and wait. Not sleeping deeply, not at ease, just waiting, in the particular stillness of an animal that has learned patience because it has no other option. Each of these behaviors is a different expression of the same underlying experience. Your cat is aware that you are gone, and your cat is responding to that awareness in the only ways it knows how. Now, let's talk about what makes some cats more affected than others. Not all cats experience separation the same way. The research consistently shows that the cats most likely to show stress-related behaviors when left alone are the ones with the strongest attachment bonds to their owners. This seems counterintuitive at first. Shouldn't a secure, well-attached cat feel more confident alone? Shouldn't the cat that trusts its owner be the one that handles absence best? In some ways, yes. Cats with secure attachment do tend to recover more quickly when their owner returns. They are more easily soothed. They return to baseline faster. But in the short term, immediately after separation, it is often the most bonded cats who feel the absence most acutely, because they have the most to miss. A cat that has learned to use its owner as a safe base, as the emotional anchor of its world, experiences that anchor's absence more deeply than a cat that was never that attached to begin with. This is not a problem. This is what love looks like in a cat. There is also something worth understanding about time. Cats do not experience time the way humans do. They do not sit by the window counting hours. But research suggests that cats can and do distinguish between short and long absences. Studies have found that cats greet owners who have been away longer with more intense behaviours, more rubbing, more vocalising, more proximity seeking. This means your cat is not simply reacting to your arrival. It is reacting to the length of your absence. It is, in some way, registering how long you are gone. Whether that registers as something like longing, whether there is a subjective experience of missing you, is something science cannot yet fully answer. But the behavioural evidence suggests that the longer you are away, the more intensely your cat responds when you return. And that response tells us something real about what was happening in your absence. Now let's talk about what happens when you come home. For many cat owners, the homecoming is the clearest window into what their cat was experiencing while they were away. A cat that greets you at the door, rubs against your legs, follows you through the house, vocalises repeatedly, or simply refuses to leave your immediate vicinity. This cat is not just happy to see you. This cat is recalibrating. In attachment terms, what you are witnessing is the resolution of a separation response. Your cat's nervous system, which shifted into a mild state of alertness in your absence, is returning to baseline. The safe base has returned, the anchor is back, and your cat's behaviour in the first minutes after your return is the visible expression of that internal shift. This is why the homecoming matters, not because you need to make a big fuss, but because what your cat does when you walk in the door is one of the most honest things they will ever show you about how much your presence means to them. There is also something that happens to some cats that most owners never connect to their own absence. Over-grooming, reduced appetite, sleeping more than usual, sitting in unusual spots. These are often written off as quirks, as phases, as just the way a particular cat is. But in cats with strong attachment bonds, these behaviours can be directly linked to the stress of repeated separation. Not a single long absence, but the daily pattern of someone leaving and returning. Leaving and returning. The accumulating weight of a routine that includes regular loss. This doesn't mean you are harming your cat by going to work. It means your cat feels your absence enough that it registers in their body. And that registration is, in its own quiet way, a measure of how deeply they are attached to you. If you notice your cat seems slightly off during weeks when your schedule is more demanding, when you are away longer, more often, or more irregularly than usual, that change in behaviour may not be coincidence. It may be your cat telling you, in the only language it has, that it felt the difference. There is one more thing worth naming, something that sits underneath all of this. Your cat does not choose to be attached to you. Attachment is not a decision. It grows out of proximity, out of routine, out of the repeated experience of having a need met by the same presence over time. Your cat became attached to you because you were there, because you were consistent, because the signals of your existence, your scent, your voice, your movement through the house, became woven into what safety feels like for them. When you leave, all of those signals disappear, and your cat, in whatever way a cat experiences the world, notices. That noticing is not nothing. It is the shape of a bond. It is what it looks like when a small, quiet animal has let you become important to them. And here is what makes that remarkable. Your cat did not read about attachment. It did not decide to care about you. It simply lived alongside you, day after day. And somewhere in that quiet accumulation of shared mornings and familiar sounds and repeated returns, you became something it could not replace. You became the signal that everything was okay, the feeling of home made into a person. And every time you come home, they show you exactly how important that is. If this changed the way you think about leaving and coming home, subscribe. We explore cat behaviour, attachment, and the hidden emotional lives of cats, one video at a time.